Hi everyone, this is Heidi Hancock with Double Magenta Intuitive Energy Healing, and this is your soul message for August 2019. So I feel like I say this at the beginning of every month. Holy cow, July was intense. It really has been a series of really intense months. So if you tuned in last month, you know that the energy was very sharp, very pointed, and it was directed at the solar plexus, which is about our power and control, how we move in the world, our sovereignty, how we hold ourselves. And the sharp energy that was coming in was really there to point at any old wounds that are hanging out in our solar plexus, hanging out in places that keep us small, or even more so, it's like dark crevices in our shadow that we didn't see, didn't want to see, were kind of unaware of. And July came in to just really razor sharp point those out. And what's beautiful about that is August is coming in to dress the wound of that. So August is this really soft, yummy, nourishing, self-care, fill yourself up month and heal all of the wounds that may have come up in July or, previous anytime. So if you think of a tulip, how it's tight in a bud at the beginning, and that was July, and then that sharp energy came in to open up the petals, and now we're sitting here with this big, open, beautiful tulip. And what's beautiful about that is when you have this open energy, you can see what's in it. You can see what's in your field. You can see what's blocking you. You can see like, oh, my house is dirty, or I need to clean things out. You may want to clean out relationships. Like, you can see the things that are there now instead of them being hidden. So that's the benefit of the painful things that came up in July. And I hope it wasn't too bad for you. But what was beautiful about the July energy too is that it was so sharp that it was really pointed and like a clean cut. So for me, it felt like it was really sharp, really intense, really uncomfortable, but also moved out really quickly and housed with love and joy and healing. So I got married 2 weeks ago, and it was beautiful, joyous, the most incredible, happy, joyful day of my life. And the days leading up to it were very intense, very pointed. And even some of the days afterwards were a little bit charged. Like, you're moving through a current of energy, and there's this beautiful threshold in the center, which is like the wedding. And then there's all the buildup and the contraction before the expansion, as one of my teachers says. Lee Harris, if you don't know of him, look him up. He's pretty good stuff. So he talks about this contraction expansion thing. So it was like the contraction coming in, expansion during the wedding, and then there was a little bit of that residue of it left over at the end. So it's kind of like that. We have this beautiful mix of pain and beauty can kind of be sitting in the same place. I think I talked about that last month. And so this month we have this beautiful opportunity to see what we couldn't see before. Hopefully the wound has been excised, and now we are cleaning and dressing it and healing and taking care of ourselves. So there's a couple things that I want to suggest that are ways that are going to help you facilitate doing that. And some of them I have just recently picked up again too. So one of them is celery juice. I cannot talk enough about this. I have definitely juiced with celery before, but I usually combine it with other things. I haven't been doing just straight celery juice. A friend of mine was doing a 30-day challenge, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, maybe I'll try it again. And I already had some, so I was like, whatever, I'll just go ahead and do it. So I'm only on my 4th day, and I already notice a massive difference in my strength, my sense of groundedness, my confidence, my clarity in what I want to do going forward. Just looking at that space that I'm talking about with the open tulip and seeing like what's here that doesn't need to be here, and help to move some of that out. So if you want to try it, it's juicing 16 ounces of celery juice first thing in the morning. You don't have anything else for 30 minutes, not even coffee. and then you can go about your day. That's all it is. It's not juicing all day long. It's your regular diet, regular exercise, regular everything. Just do the celery juice. And it was brought up in, there's a documentary on Netflix called Heal. It was recommended in that. There's a guy called The Medical Medium, and his name is Anthony William. I have not gotten any of his books yet, but he has one whole book just on celery juice. So I'm about to get that, and I'll definitely report back what I learned from that. But it's pretty remarkable to me to think that you could even have a whole book just on celery juice. But it's supposed to be a whole clearing and detoxing of the gut and the lining and all of the things that that affects. So that's one recommendation. The other recommendation, if you have not heard of Marie Kondo and the life-changing magic of tidying up, get familiar with it. I did it about 3 years ago, and it was pretty remarkable and kind of shifted everything. I ended up stopping partway through and redecorating my whole house because I realized how much stuff was there that I didn't want, and I'm about to go do it again. Because the idea there is that you want only things that have value and reverence in your home, so that your home really represents who you are, how you feel about yourself, and it's your place of nourishment at the end of the day. And it's also the place that you invite people into your home to nourish and cultivate relationships with. And the last thing, and this is what we'll do in the meditation today, is chanting. So I've definitely talked about this before. We've definitely chanted in other months. I don't know if we've done this chant before. We probably have, because it's one of my favorites. I've been working with it for 10 years. And it's Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and it's translated as love is practice. And so what I love about this chant is it's super easy, it's short, so it's not a big long-winded one that you're doing multiple times over and over, and takes a really long time. But I also love the meaning of it. So when you say love is practice, what that feels like to me is that anything and everything that you have done, been, seen, anything that you feel guilty about, any part of your life that you want to heal and cleanse, this is a way of saying, I forgive myself. Because love is practice. We screw up all the time, and it doesn't matter that we screw up. It only matters that we come back. And we right our wrongs, we take responsibility for them, and we learn from them. In fact, I brought that teaching and that healing into our wedding because it was so important to me. So we'll do a little bit of that today. And what I really want to emphasize about chanting in particular, so we'll do a little bit of it today, but we're not going to do as long as I'm going to suggest for you to do. So in terms of cleaning house and dressing the wound and all of that, to take up a chanting practice is so special. It will really shift so many things in your life, but you have to give it time to do it. So what I would recommend is every day, you want to get some mala beads if you don't have any, and I forgot to bring mine down so I could show you, but you can get them at any spiritual bookstore. And there are 108 beads on a string. So you want to do it one time around, and you say the chant one time for each bead, and you hold it on your middle finger of your dominant hand, and you just move the bead forward with your thumb. So if you don't have beads or you don't want to go get them, you can also set your timer for about 20 minutes. It takes about 20 minutes, almost exactly, to do this chant for 108 times. So today we'll do it for a little bit just to get yourself in the sense of the vibration and feeling it. And what I want you to notice afterwards is how your face feels. Like I always notice that my face feels different, my throat feels different. And if you're brand new to chanting and you've never done it before, you might also notice congestion in your throat when you're singing. You might notice like, oh, it's kind of hard to get the words out a little bit. And that is really good to pay attention to and watch as you do it. And I would suggest if you can commit to it, I mean, as many times as you can do it, or as many days as you can do it, wonderful. But if you can commit to 30 days, that's what I'm doing right now because I just committed to this 30-day, celery juice thing. So I'm just doing it in conjunction with that. It really has a similar effect to the celery juice. And so it's almost like supercharging the whole effect. And it brings more confidence, more clarity. It really does translate to feeling like you hear your own voice and that you're accessing your voice. It's so connected to that sense of voice and intuition and calming the busyness of your mind to really tune into what your body's telling you. So let's dip into it for a little bit. So closing your eyes, and let's take a couple deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And last one, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And before we get started, just mentally imagine yourself sweeping away anything that you were doing before, even anything that I said in the video. Just letting that sweep away, and also sweeping away anything that you have to do after, so that you can really fully be present in this moment. And then I'll just begin chanting, and you can listen for a little bit and join in when you're comfortable. And the goal is that you really want to get that tune in your mind so that you can keep with it. And as you do more of that practice, the tune will be so in your head that you'll find that you're chanting throughout the day in your head. It's really beautiful. It's like an active meditation, so it helps to calm the busyness of the mind. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo 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 Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And so just allow yourself to notice, sitting in the energy and the sense of that vibration. And you really will feel it much more strongly if you chant along with me. And then just allow yourself to slowly open your eyes. And yeah, it usually takes a little minute to come back from that. One thing that I forgot to mention at the beginning, and you definitely can do this in your personal practice. Chanting has a way of clearing and cleaning your energy field. So we all have this energy field that's around us. And when you're chanting, you're occupying your own field. You're occupying your own space. And so what it does is it helps to clear and aerate what's been in your field that maybe isn't yours. Maybe you picked up something from, a situation that happened earlier that day, or you picked up something from somebody else and you're carrying something that isn't yours. So chanting has a way of helping you clear and clean that energy field so that you can really, I think that's why, for me, I've noticed it feels like that's why the sovereignty and the sense of groundedness is there, because I'm occupying my own space, and so it really pushes anything out that isn't mine. So you can imagine that like there's a circle around you, like a dial that's being swept clean around you as you chant. And it's just an extra visual that you can bring in to help you support you. So I wish you the best of August. It feels like it's going to be a really happy, joyful, clean, and clear month. And rest when you need to. Take care of yourself and really let the magic and the joy of life in, and let yourself heal from any old things that were hanging around in July. All right, happy August. Namaste.